My goodness, these treats are safe, healthy, and so very delicious.
Hello everyone, welcome into our latest live video. And today we're going to do something very different. As you may or may not know, Mara's been very much into having a low carb, no sugar diet. And it's been interesting the last few years with the options that have been available that weren't available before for alternatives to things like sugar and flour and other carb heavy items. And so there was a phase there where she was going through a lot of nut flour, which is basically, almonds or walnuts or just nuts that are ground down into a flour. They tend to be very absorbent though, and it changes the texture of things like breads and other things that use flour, cakes, cookies, etc. But still better than what was there prior to that. But now there's something new, and it's called UnbelievaFlour. And Mara has an unpaid collaboration with them because it has really improved the quality, texture, and flavor of her recipes. It's opened up whole new doors to alternatives that are more and more similar to the taste that we're accustomed to. So there's no sacrifice of like eating diet food, if you will. And there's sort of an underdog in this entire genre of this kind of flour alternative and healthier lifestyle. And she has based her most recent cookbook here primarily on using this flour instead of traditional flour or nut flours. And it's so powerful. Like, she's got a whole book worth of recipes to use it. She's had to rethink everything. And she's going to do the show today and explain to you why this is so important, why she's dedicated so much of her time to trying to spread the good word. Hopefully this company will continue to grow and become a household name, and hopefully people will decide to eat healthier or maybe ordered by their doctor to do so. And the immediate reaction may be, oh no, not that. But if you know the secrets, it's really not much of a sacrifice at all. So with Mara's new book, just published on Amazon, we have links for it also, for hardback, paperback, Kindle, and links to UnbelievaFlour. I want to remind you, it's an unpaid collaboration. It's just, she's so enthusiastic about it. She feels like the world needs to know about this. So she's going to talk to you about that today. So welcome in our channel administrator, Maralina.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
Get the HE double hockey sticks out.
Hey, this is not a violent channel, no hockey.
Hi everybody. Yeah, I'm not usually the one on camera except for momentary, a moment here and there. But I like Carey was saying, I am very excited about this. It is an unpaid collaboration. I spent a long time trying to find alternatives. And to give you a little bit of a backstory, I was diagnosed type 1 diabetic in 1974. Back then, obviously things were quite different. And over time, other options started becoming available, in particular the nut flours. Things like almond flour and, like Carey had mentioned, almond, walnut, etc. And they still are great, and they still are very, very usable. The problem, at least from my experience, is over time, the body changes. And I started having a reaction to the almond flour, meaning higher blood sugars. And I hate high blood sugars. They just bother me so, so very much. So I kept looking for alternatives. So I started playing with things like lupin flour, which also is pretty good, but it's finicky. And when you're cooking with it, if you don't cook it right, you can wind up with some pretty serious consequences. Don't ask me about that, because that was not very fun. And while that was okay, I still continued to look. Well, about a year ago, actually maybe a little bit longer than that, I stumbled across a YouTube channel called Serious Keto. And this gentleman, Steve, he appears to be a very wonderful, kind, very honest person who not only provides some recipes that he's developed, he also does reviews for products, and he does glucose testing. Now, he's not a diabetic, but he will wear a CGM and provide the results after trying whatever product it is. And so I've been kind of watching him because he's very, very direct and very honest about it. And I was curious about a lot of the things that he's found. Well, one of those particular things that he found was UnbelievaFlour and UnbelievaBuns and all of their products. And I was shocked over the results that he was seeing or not seeing. So I was curious, and over a year ago, I started purchasing some of the products, whether it was a bagel or their breads, or they offer several types of products, but I started trying them about a year ago, and I was shocked at the results. There were none. The flour or the products had no impact on my blood sugar whatsoever. It was frankly amazing. Now, I don't really want to call it a disability, unlike, like the average human that can go into like a market or a store or anything and really purchase anything and enjoy it. I can't do that unless I want to deal with the consequences, which I don't. So what I do, or what I have done and still do, is I walk into a store, look for something, and look for the ingredients, look for the nutrition labels, trying to figure out what I think may or may not work. So something like UnbelievaBuns and their products, obviously it's not in stores local to me. So when Steve from Serious Keto introduced this to me and I ordered it online, and then getting it, and I look at the ingredients and they're clean. They're 100% clean. And then trying them and then testing my blood sugars and watching, it was amazing. I was blown away. So then I thought, wait a second, what about the flour? So about a year ago, and this has been going on for about a year, I've been testing, making various things, testing all the products, testing the flour, whatever I could do. So over that year period, I have started to develop recipes and working with the flour, trying to figure out what is it that I need to make whatever recipe work. Now, excuse me just a moment, I'm going to take a sip of my drink. Pepsi Zero, people, my favorite. So along those lines, while testing the recipes, I would find ways, like in some cases, the flour works fine just as it is. With some recipes, you may want a little bit more gluten or a little bit more texture. So I started experimenting with things like oat fiber, which is one of my favorites. Oat fiber is very hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs a lot of moisture, which is okay, but it also adds a little bit of texture and binding. I use things like psyllium husk. In some cases, I'll use xanthan gum. It just really depends on what it is that you're making and what it is that you're after. And you can use the flour just by itself. Like, for example, in my cookbook, I do have a recipe for my scones. And the scones are amazing. They're great. And I also make a low-carb, sugar-free version of buttermilk that you can use in the scones. And I had a new mold that I was testing out the other day, and it kind of turned out kind of great, but just for fun. However, then getting back to the subject at hand, with working with this flour and developing these recipes, I went above and beyond, at least in terms of what I guess the average home cook might do, and I took things to a new level and started playing with various recipes that you wouldn't expect to come in a low-carb, sugar-free manner or method. So I did things like macarons. I did gravy. I did various kinds of like biscuits that like UnbelievaBuns may not have available, like Cajun biscuits. And not that they can't. And I do want to say, Jared, who is the owner of UnbelievaBuns, is an amazing, wonderful, kind human being. He will always respond to you. Their customer service is great. And if you ever need anything, definitely reach out to him. As a side note, though, so he does offer various products that are really great. Things like the Cajun biscuits, he does not offer, but that doesn't mean that he can't. It's just I decided to kind of take it to another level using his flour and made it work. So there are lots of, so this entire book and all the recipes are dedicated to using that flour. You don't have to, though. You can absolutely swap it out for anything else that might be your preference. These recipes, yes, I'm a type 1 diabetic. From a nutrition standpoint, the flour is super high in protein. It works really, really well in almost everything. And if you're looking, you don't have to be like a diabetic to use it or to enjoy the products. You can be just somebody looking to increase your protein. You can be looking for somebody looking to increase your nutrition. your weight, it doesn't really matter. And please note, this is not medical advice. We are not a medical channel. I'm just providing you experiences that I have gone through with growing up as a type 1 diabetic, and what I have found, and things that have happened with me and during my past. So as of today, that's what we got. Is I finally found a flour that, like I said, I've been testing these for a year. It is 100% safe. I have been working with trying to find new ways to use it. I came up with some really interesting recipes for things like, if you all know about the onion blossom, you know, that crazy giant onion that's like breaded and stuff. Well, I love onion. It's one of my favorites. But I can't eat that, right? It's breaded and I can't do that. Well, I found a way to do it with UnbelievaFlour, and it worked great and it tastes great. I also made smaller ones called that I'm calling onion bites. That are little tiny, like little onion blossoms, and they work great. So again, the flour, you can replace it with something else. You can still use almond flour if you wish. I will state that you may or may not have to adjust the texture or the gluten if you decide to do that. However, it's very usable, it's very flexible, it works with just about anything. And there's almost nothing that you can or cannot do with it. It works amazingly well. And I am so very thankful to Steve from Serious Keto, who introduced everybody to it. I'm so thankful to Jared with Unbelievabuns for providing his products and making them available. And they're not that pricey. They're very decently priced. You know, obviously shipping can be a little tricky, but he's also based, you know, in the East and we're in the West, so that I would kind of expect. And again, it's an option. If you're looking to increase your nutrition, if you're looking to reduce your carbs, if you're looking to increase your protein, this is the way to do it, or at least find similar options. I don't know if there are very many out there, but this was one of the few that I found. So it's been a journey. I've had very interesting experiences along the way. If you're ever curious or if you're looking for more information, please feel free to reach out anytime. You can send an email to the channel email address. You can reach me on Facebook if you want, like Facebook Messenger. You can reach out to us via the email, and I'm the one that takes care of the email account, so you will always get a response within 24 hours. Other than that, like I said, I'm really excited about the cookbook. If you're interested, or even for the recipes, please feel free to pick up a copy. I'm quite proud of this. And my original cookbook, I am rewriting it. I also have renamed it. It's called A Feast of Fables. That book is more dedicated to recipes of all kinds of things, from vegetables to making like mashed like a mashed cauliflower, like mashed potatoes, and also like sweet potato casserole. So there's all kinds of recipes in that first one, and that will it's probably going to take me a little bit, probably about a month to get that completed. But in the meantime, we do have this one available. Please feel free to pick it up if you'd like. Check out UnbelievaBuns. They have great products. Check out Serious Keto if you get a chance. He's a wonderful gentleman that, like I said, does a lot of really good recipes and reviews, and he's very honest. So if you're looking to be introduced to a new way of life, or maybe an improvement of life, check all that stuff out, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you again for your time. Of course. Thank you for letting me do this, everybody. I appreciate it.
Well, hopefully they appreciate it as well, because it's not every day you're going to find up-to-date recipes like this using the latest alternative ingredients. And this will give you an idea of how the book is laid out. Just picking some random pages here. There's a picture of what you'll be baking, the ingredients, the directions. I can move the pages. And of course, ultimately, very important is the nutrition information that she has to go through and calculate out. Each one of these little nutrition informations, it's not like she just pushes a button and it happens automatically. She has to do the calculations manually for each individual recipe. Oh, look, more skulls. I think there's a theme. And the house has been smelling really good lately. So you can see, I mean, nothing about any of this sounds diet, right? I mean, cookies and donuts. This is a fun one here. Anybody can do these. Make your own almonds. Just roast your own almonds.
And that's the one thing that Carey will eat.
Oh, man. First of all, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than buying almonds that are already roasted and salted. And you can play around with flavorings if you like garlic or smoked seasoning. We also got the book a lot cheaper on Amazon than the prior book. And the prior book, as she mentioned, she's rewriting it, reformatting it. So essentially, we'll have a little bit better consistency. This is what happens when you get your second chance. You know, every time she does it, she's getting better. And there'll be a 3, a cookbook 4, a cookbook 5. I anticipate she's got thousands of recipes that she just needs to start updating. And she's really excited to revisit some old favorites with these new ingredients and make them better than ever. So if you want to join her on the journey, the book is available, and we appreciate any feedback or suggestions. If there's certain recipes you want to see, things that you don't think would be possible to make healthy, you're wrong. That's what I've learned from watching her. You know, I think the onion blossom, the deep fried onion, it's like the highest calorie thing at Outback Steakhouse. She made a perfectly healthy version of it. Now, she's an onion fiend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me, not so much. But I do enjoy onion rings and fried onion blocks. One exception. And so, and the other thing that's been kind of fun is making a pizza without a crust. So even though now she has the ability to make the crust, the fact is, you can put the tomato sauce, the cheese, and all the toppings in like a little foil pan and be able to enjoy the pizza without the side effects of the bread, which also fills you up, right? It's generally got some carbs, and so it's a little embarrassing to take her to a pizza place and watch her scrape the top off the pizza, and then when they come to clean the table, they're like, "Was something wrong with the pizza?" But there are some places offering crustless pizza bowls, for example, and things like that. So it's this idea of thinking outside of the box, where you're not really sacrificing flavor, and you're not really sacrificing anything at all, really. It's not even like it's more money. It's basically, in our experience, it's either cheaper at some places. If you make it ourselves, obviously, we're buying the ingredients in the little foil trays that you can just throw away when you're done to make a crustless pizza bowl. Or if we go to a pizza place and they offer, like Hungry Howie's and Venezia's, there's a bunch of places that are now starting to offer a crustless pizza, which is just that. It's just the toppings in a, I don't know, it's almost a casserole, I think, at this point. But the fact is, they don't charge any more for it. That's the thing that upsets me, is if you want to eat healthy, why does it cost so much? Well, and why does it taste so bad? So this isn't applying in these recipes that she's got here. They're not expensive. I think UnbelievaFlour, price-wise to regular flour, is a little bit more. But it's not like almond flour. Holy cow. Holy cow, is that expensive? And it's just, it takes a lot of water. It's very heavy, so it absorbs a lot of water. You have to really adjust your recipes to not have something just being completely dense. Maybe I'm made mostly of almond flour. Now I think about it. The point is, with these new recipes using new ingredients, recipes are being revisited on flavor and texture, and everybody's taste is different. This is what works for her, and it's worth giving a shot, because even if you don't like one recipe, you might like the one on the next page. You have any idea how many recipes are in here?
About 100.
So about 100 recipes in here. That's got to be something everybody likes, something for everybody in there.
And they can all be adjusted.
And there you go, to your personal preferences. So,
and if there's one thing, if you're not interested in like the bread, try the meatloaf. It is amazing.
Well, I think everything in there is amazing, right?
Well, everything's amazing.
Would you say, whatever you do, don't cook what's on page?
Yeah, no.
I mean, she could do that with something like ultra spicy.
Some people don't want.
No, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, it could be like first ingredient, Tabasco.
Right.
That's only for certain people. that like things ultra spicy.
There is a recipe in here, like I was just saying. If you're not interested in any kind of bread, I do have a recipe for an amazing meatloaf. And when I say amazing, I mean like every single person that's ever tried it is like, oh my gosh, can you make more? So that is in there too, and that does use UnbelievaFlour as the binder, and it works great. So just FYI.
All right, guys, I think that'll wrap it up for today. Thank you again for joining us. This video is a little bit different for us, but you know, we had a little lull in the tech stuff, and we all have to eat. We don't all have to have computers and storage. Well, all of us do. But everybody on YouTube land and around the world, we all eat. And if we can eat healthier, where it's not more expensive and we're not tasting like, you know, we're sacrificing flavor or texture, wouldn't you want to know if it's 6 of one and half dozen of the other, and one's healthy and one's not healthy? Wouldn't, if they were otherwise the same, wouldn't you choose the healthy one? Why wouldn't you? All right, with that, I think it'll wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. All the links are in the video description below today's video. You did a great job.
Thank you.
But you're not taking my job.
I don't want it.
Back in the kitchen with you.
I'm going. Thank you, everybody.
Guys.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us again. We'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Every single Friday, we do a live show at 1 o'clock. I think we've got the Ace Magic Mini PC review coming up tomorrow, and I hope you'll join us for that. 1 o'clock Phoenix time, which is currently 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks also to Jared over at Unbelievabuns for collaborating with Mara on this project, and she's as you can tell, very thrilled, and it definitely is an improvement in the quality of her life, so much so that she wants to share it with the world. That's going to wrap it up for me for today, for us. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you back here tomorrow. Again, it's 12 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, bye for now.
My goodness, these treats are safe, healthy, and so very delicious.